Hi, welcome back to Lost and Refound. Glad you refound us. So today we're going to see if we can get this engine to start. We know it's not locked up. We know that it did spin over because when we were loading it on the trailer, I bumped the key and it did turn over with the starter. So come along with us. We're going to check everything out and go ahead and see if we can get her to fire up. Well, good morning. So we're going to go through, we're going to check our basic fluids. We're going to make sure there's power steering fluid because we don't want to run a power steering pump dry. We're going to check our transmission fluid. Oh, wait, we can't check that right now. Anyway, we're going to check our engine coolant. We'll pop the air cleaner off, take a look down the carburetor, make sure there's nothing growing in there. Of course, the engine oil, we're going to check that right now. On this AMC, I guess this is going. We're going to find out. Now it is. See, I can work on vehicles, but cameras, whole other deal. Anyway, get down in here with you, show you the engine oil dipsticks on the driver's side on these. Got the power steering fluid here, and of course we got the radiator right in the center. Has an overflow tank that I put on. Some of you may recognize that overflow tank if you're into classic trucks. That's off a 67 to 72 Chevy pickup. That was the washer fluid container. Works perfect on these full-size Jeeps. So we're going to pop this out and take a quick look. And we do have fluid. We got oil. And let's see here. We're a little over full, in fact, but not too much. It doesn't smell horrible. It smells like used oil, the way used oil should. It's not full of gas. There's no coolant on the dipstick. So I think we're good to turn it over. Of course, we wouldn't want to run it long term on this oil. We don't know how many miles are on it and such. Power steering fluid, nice and red. And it's right at the proper mark. So we're good there. Work our way over here. Flip up cap. And that is plumb full. I mean, it is all the way to the top. It'd be here. You take a look for me because I can't see over here as well. Nice and green. Looks good. Put that back. Flip down our safety vent. And if you were to check the transmission fluid, it would be back on that corner there. But we don't have a dipstick there right now. We're going to pop this air cleaner lid off. We'll just pop the whole thing off. Alright. Some of you will notice, that's Quadrajet. I like building Quadrajets. They're kind of misunderstood carburetor, but once you learn how to work on them, how to seal them, they work really well for off-road. So we're going to take a peek down in here, and doesn't look like we got anything going on bad in there. You see anything bad in there? I don't. And our linkage works. There's the neighbor's dog. Choke set. Yeah, we're all free. Now some of you out there are just gonna, give it to me in the comments. But Kris, you can't start this engine. This is an AMC motor. This uses a Ford style starter. It attaches to the bell housing. Well, we're going to crawl underneath and we're going to show you how we're going to do that. Tell you a little story about AMCs and the reason that Jeep is called junk everyone else pitched. Alright, here we go. Down under the belly of the beast. Let's make our way under. So if you see what we got going on here. Here is our starter. And here is the nose of the starter. We have this ring all around the back of the motor. It's a bell housing adapter. Now Jeep You know, they bought parts from everybody. This thing has a Turbo Hydromatic 400. Hydromatic division of GM sold them transmissions. They used a Buick nail head bolt pattern for those transmission cases. You look over here on the driver's side, see that notch? That's where on the transmission would be the starter on that Buick. Well, they used this adapter and that case from 1965 on to 73. Of course, they had different engines through those year ranges. They had from 65 to 69, they had the 327 Vigilante Rambler motor. And then for a couple of years, they used a Buick 350 for 70 and 71. And of course, in our year range here with the AMC 360, we've got the 360 bell housing adapter. You can take a peek up in the flex plate here. There's a spacer between the crankshaft and the flex plate. This was all factory. So now we're going to actually be able to turn this over. Of course, in 74, they got to a integrated bell housing onto the transmission case. So I'm going to climb out and I'll see you inside. Okie doke, we're going to climb in here. Of course, we got custom gauge panel. I was going to grab the keys, but then I remembered we've got the old GM column with the key delete. So we can crank this over without a key. Eventually we will change that to a better lock and tumbler. Before we get too far along, we're going to hook up the battery, because it won't spin if it doesn't have any power. Alright. We got a little zap. That means we got something drawing power. We have to look into that. Alright. She kicked. Let's see if we can get her to fire up. Sounds pretty good. I don't hear the fuel pump running, so that may be part of our issue right now. Let's see what we got going on. See if I can set you guys here. And we have a no fuel situation. Alright, not the end of the world. We'll take a quick peek, see if we got a fuse or a relay. Maybe we'll just pour a little fuel down the top of the carburetor. Okay. Put a little bit of flammable fluid down the carburetor, gave her some pumps. And she kicked right over. Alright. Aside from our fuel pump issue, we're pretty happy with that. So, they will take a look on the gauge. We got oil pressure immediately. You heard the minute we were able to get a little bit of fuel down it, it just kicked right over. It sounds healthy. Of course, it sounds like a race car because there's no exhaust, and we're going to probably keep that feature for a little bit. But overall, pretty happy. Now that we know that the engine's good, we don't have to worry about, pulling the motor out, going through it. There again, that's why we bought this back. We knew unless there was something wrong with it, I know what's in this motor. I know it's some good parts. Super happy, super excited that it's running. So next, we're going to go through the transmission. Well, of course, we should probably make ourselves a punch list. I got a piece of cardboard this big because we got a big list to do. I'm excited, and we're going to get right to it. We're back. Now it's time for introductions. This is Hilary. She's my wife. She's the one that told me, you better just buy this back.
Yep.
because I was kind of hesitant at first because everything going on with life, and she's all, nope, want the big Jeep back.
Yep.
Yep. And so we're back. So she has prettier handwriting than me, so she's going to do some writing. So here's
Trade me sides then.
trade me sides. All right, that's good because you're right-handed and I'm right-handed. So we need to first and foremost go through the transmission. So we'll write transmission. Oh, you're going all the way to the top. Bold move. That way we don't, have room to start anywhere else. Okay. So transmission, we need to disassemble it and see if we can figure out what was wrong with it. We got a couple ideas what may be wrong with it, but won't know till we get into it. Once we disassemble it, find out what's wrong, and we'll order parts and rebuild it. You can just put parts and rebuild. Okay. While we've got the transfer case out, we're going to go ahead and disassemble and reseal the transfer case. Probably not much wrong with that. It's a Dana 20 transfer case. Pretty bulletproof for their size. Only downfall to that transfer case is it only has a 2-to-1 low range. If I could come across a, low range gear set, Terra Low, or even a Ford Bronco gear set, may end up putting that in, but we'll just do some looking while we're ordering parts. And,
Is it disassemble and what else?
Disassemble and reseal it. Of course, if we do find bearing or something wrong with it, just throw that anywhere. We don't need that right now. We're busy. And if we find anything wrong with it, we'll fix it while we're in there, but there's not much to it. All right. So that'll be the two things that'll really get it back on the road.
You need to clean underneath.
Oh, yeah. Well, we got it. I'm going to take a shower underneath it. And not the fun kind of shower. So, yeah, we'll get under there. We'll seal off the hole for the shifter. And I'll get under there, pressure wash it. We're going to try a few different techniques, get all the greasy, grimy gopher guts out of there. No, there's really no greasy, grimy gopher guts. There's just grease and grime.
Install?
Yeah, we're going to put it back together. We'll install the transmission transfer case since it'll all be sealed up fresh and new. Drive shafts, I'll, put those in at the time of install. I'll, probably go ahead and run the joints that are in there. I pulled the cap earlier. Didn't look too bad. We'll just clean everything up, lubricate it. So install transmission, transfer case, drive shafts, exhaust, all at the same time. If you want to put that in there, we can. Gnat? The fun of bugs in the summertime. All right. So we're going to take a sweet tea break, and then we're going to put on our thinking caps. Need to figure out what else we need to get going on this. We'll be right back. We're back. Sweet tea break. Refreshing. I love it. It's my favorite drink now. It used to be Mountain Dew back in the day, but now I'm addicted to sweet tea. That's just the way it is. All right, so looking at our list, some other stuff we need to do. We need to change the engine oil.
Does she need all fluids?
Yeah, we'll do all fluids, but want to change the engine oil, just put all fluids if you want. Engine oil doesn't look bad. With all the fluids, we're going to change the coolant. It is green, it looks good, but have no idea how old it is. It could be the same coolant that was in there when we sold it. And, if it is, it did its job. It did a good job. We'll go ahead and, of course, change our differential gear oil at the same time. This, I don't know if I ever talked about it. As we get through it, we'll go through all the specifics of it. Rear axle, Chevy 12 bolt that has been Lincoln locked. Yes, poor man's spool in the back. Works great. Haven't broke anything on it yet, knock on wood, and have really abused that 12 volt. Surprised it's lived this long. So it deserves some fresh oil. Of course, we'll change front oil on the Dana 44. We'll repack the wheel bearings on the front. There again, don't know how long that's been since those have been done. And go from there. And then,
I won't be here for the gear oil part.
no, her favorite smell in the entire world. Gear oil. Used gear oil.
Can't stand it.
The next one, transmission fluid. And what are the two things we're going to be going through the most? Transmission and gear oil. Yep. All right. So where are we at? Fuel system? Yep, fuel system. So earlier when I had keyed it on, when we were loading it, the fuel pump did kick on. Now it's not. And it was puking fuel out from somewhere. Didn't get a chance to see what's going on. So fuel system, we need to replace fuel pump. We need to replace all the rubber lines. And we need to put our return line and pressure regulator system. Say that 20 times fast. Back in. Yeah. Return line. Go on. Keep up now. Slash. Regulator. Originally, when I built this, I did put a return line system, even though it is carbureted, with a pressure regulator. Out on the trail, you can be sitting there idling, you can be, bouncing off a rock so many times, and you can overheat your fuel, get some vapor lock going on. Especially can be a problem at higher elevations. So I had done that, worked great. They took it off, don't know why, don't know if there was an issue. Could have been, all this modern, wonderful ethanol fuel could have ate up diaphragm and a regulator, and they just eliminated it. Don't know, don't care. We're going to fix it right. So, we'll go through the fuel system.
Did you want to do the other rubber lines with the brake lines?
Yep.
So do you mean edit here? Or?
We're going to do that on a separate line. So, we're going to replace our other rubber lines. We'll put brake hoses. And then on next line, we'll do coolant hoses as needed. Probably replace all the heater hoses, just 3/4 and 5/8 lines.
Power steering?
Yep, need to look at the power steering. That's why I have her. She's smart. She remembers things. My mind goes on its own little journeys. Power steering, we do have a remote engine oil filter on this and cooler, so we're going to put oil cooler lines in. Haven't decided yet what we're going to do on those. Originally, when I built this, I had hydraulic hose assemblies made. May go back that route. Of course, now there's a lot more options on the market than when this was built. That you can get hoses from Earls and Russell and stuff like that. Build your own hoses with the ends a lot cheaper than it used to be. And we may end up going that route. We may go hydraulics again. We're going to take a look, and we're not deciding today, but we're just making a list of stuff we got to do. All right. So I think that's most everything that'll get us to where it'll run, drive, stop on its own. So we're going to do a test drive. And that's exciting. It's very exciting. We'll do a test drive.
Won't go far.
Won't go far. No. But, looking at everything, once we got this basic stuff taken care of, it would probably be pretty good to go. but we definitely just want to, start making a big list. Eventually, we're going to add to the list, change the list. You know how projects are. You never, have a done project. That's just silly. Okay, so after a test drive, we'll probably want to start addressing this beautiful patinaed paint. Oh, this is going to get big letters. I'm standing back. She's mad.
They painted over the orange with some horrible whatever.
Whatever. Yeah. I don't know what it is either. Um, we did a little test on it. But yeah, we're going to see if we can get it off. It looks like most of it's going to come off. Did a little test section with spacetone. We're going to try some other chemicals. First, we'll wash it with a pressure washer. That'll probably knock some of this really loose stuff off completely. Depending on how hard we scrub it, heck, may get a bunch of it, it'll wash off. I don't know if you've ever had that happen on an older paint job or, something that's been weathered really bad. You'll be washing and all of a sudden your paint's running, all over the ground at your feet. You're like, oh man, that's a bummer. So yeah, we're going to get rid of the ugly. We did some looking on the paint color. Not for sure what color this is.
Touch up paint, not repaint.
Well, not repaint, but yeah. Yeah, we're going to, go ahead and make all the doors match. We don't know for sure because it's missing some pieces like the data plate that would have had the paint code. We don't know if it was an Omaha orange or Riverside orange. Omaha orange was, a fleet color that was, well, it's still being used to this day. But, they started using that back in the 40s. The Riverside orange, or Renegade orange, yeah, there was Renegade orange too in this year range. Renegade orange and Omaha orange were, factory. You could check off the box and get it at your dealership. Riverside orange was a custom order color. Don't know if it's that color, but looking at paint chips, it might be. AMC actually called it Big Bad Orange. I kind of hope it's that color, just because it's the big Jeep and it would fit with the theme. But we'll order up some test mounts, little half pints, mix it up, spray out some panels, and we're gonna get rid of the ugly. We'll put the black stripe back on it. Part of getting rid of the ugly. Yep. Are you happy with getting rid of the ugly?
Yes.
Yeah.
She needs to go back to orange.
Yeah. Even the ugly front bumper doesn't bother you as much as the color, huh?
No.
All right. Well, we're going to make her pretty again. All right.
Okay, back down here.
Back down here? All right. Back after our test drive. All right.
Ignition.
Yeah. As you saw earlier, or I may not have filmed very well. I'm bad at filming. I'm sorry. New ignition, tumbler and key. It's got the typical GM worn out tumbler. You can turn it over without a key. Speaking of keys, so funny little story. I got lots of funny little stories. We when we got it, through the process of getting it, we didn't end up with keys for it. And so, like most of you dudes out there, got a big old container of keys. So I dug through and found every, GM AMC style key that I had for doors, ignition, and then this has a locking fuel cap. So I grabbed up all my locking fuel cap keys that I've accumulated over the years. And turns out I have 3 gas cap keys, which is fantastic. And I found 1 door key that runs the door locks and back tailgate. It's a little off. It's not quite 100% there, but I'll go ahead and either adjust the key or, pop the tumblers out and see if there's one of the blades. So that's a blade style lock. I'm sure Lockpick Lawyer, will tell us all about that. But we'll adjust it and make it work. Have lots of keys again, and that'll be kind of nice. So yep, we need to do that.
Adjust the locks.
Adjust the locks. And of course, got to do some scrubbing. We can go up a little bit. All right. We need to clean. We need to clean bad. Inside's kind of dirty. Oops. Ooh. Hey, you're going to tattoo your toe with that. So yeah, we're going to have to clean.
Oh, I pushed it in.
Oh, you broke it. So that's not really a Sharpie anymore. Is that a stubby?
Stubby.
It's a stubby. Yeah, we need to clean the inside really well. It's, not trash out. It's just neglected. Lots of dirt. What else do we need to do? Insert Jeopardy music here.
Different steering shaft.
Yeah, I want to put a different steering shaft in it. We got a cheat sheet going too. We're not gonna lie. So this has typical 60s, 70s, 80s models GM steering rag joint in it. I think Fords and Dodge even used them. But yeah, we're gonna go to a salvage yard, get a U-joint style, probably grab it off a XJ Cherokee. Jeep parts for Jeeps.
Air system.
Oh yeah, I need to go through the air system. So yeah, we're gonna relocate the electric pump. Write that down. Looking at me. Looking at me like, what are you talking about? So we're gonna relocate the electric pump. We're gonna keep it, and we need to check all the lines, make sure the wiring's good. Just put check lines and wiring all together. I have to write this down, but we're gonna make sure that we got a good relay on it, good fuse. Originally, when I built this, had that York AC compressor that I converted to an air compressor. We're thinking at this point, we kind of like comfort more than anything because we're spoiled. I will put AC on this at some point in its life. Super easy to do under dash AC on these. They did them all from the dealer. But yeah, nice part is I got all the bracketry there for the compressor mount.
Rear axle.
Rear axle.
Change rear axle.
Yeah, this is going to be a much later down the list. I want to change your rear axle out. We'll put a Dana 44. We'll probably grab that out of a J Series truck or a wide track Cherokee. When I change your rear axle, want to be able to put air lockers front and rear. So, and we'll also want to probably change the gear ratio. Right now we got 411s. Haven't fully committed on a gear ratio yet, but we'll just put change gear ratio down.
On the next one?
Nah, we'll just put it on the next line. Yeah, 411s have worked. It's a little under geared out on the trail, but got a lot of motor, automatic transmission, had a good stall converter, so that made up a lot. Yeah, probably going to do 456, 488, somewhere in there. Hoping to get back up to a 38-inch tire. And I know some of you guys are like, oh, you're going to kill those axles with them 38s. Yeah, they're my axles. I'll kill them if I want to. I don't know. I just, 1-tons are great. I've helped people build rigs, put 1-tons under Scouts and other Jeeps, and it's a great setup, especially if you're running, Dana 60s front and rear or 60 front and a 14-bolt rear. They're great. I do like them. Not for this. Want to keep it, a little more friendly trail. We're not going to go out and run King of the Hammers. We're not going to take the hardest hill climbs up in Disney. It's just going to be more for fun.
Air lockers front and rear.
Yeah, like we were talking about. Since we got an air system, we're going to do air lockers front and rear. Either A or B or Yukon, haven't decided. But yeah, just air lockers. That was in the grand scheme of when I put the air system in, and it was an eventuality.
Just maybe change rear disc brakes.
Yeah, when we do the rear axle, we may put rear discs on it. There are kits out there. May look at a disc brake kit. Something I've always wanted to play with, and just use off the shelf parts and go cut up another axle. These are 6 on 5.5 bolt pattern axles. So if I can find Chevy brake parts off a half-ton Chevy, make it work.
Seats and gauges.
Seats and
Interior.
the interior, yes. So gauges gonna definitely need to go through, because most of them don't work. Fuel gauge works. Got 23 gallons of bad gas in it, so there's that. Are we gonna go to bucket seats? What would you do? You want to go bucket seats, or you want the bench seat? Slide up next to me.
Bucket.
We've been married for a while, so yeah. She wants her own seat.
Headlights and find the trim.
Yeah, we need to go through the headlights, all the lights. Missing one of the trim rings. I might want to write all lights on there too. Yeah, haven't even looked to see if all the turn signals and brake lights and all that work. So,
oh, that's gross.
That's gross. You just smeared a bug. He's permanently a part of our list. Debug the list. All right, done. Check that off.
Adjust doors and windows.
Yep, need to adjust all the door hinges, all the windows. Know that on this back passenger door, the glasses come out of the track, so we'll need to take that door completely apart, get that all put back together.
The back window's not on its track, right? Or something.
No, it's not on its track, and we'll pull that apart. Probably put new weather stripping on where we can, and
Tailgate bars.
yes. You've ever opened a full-size Jeep tailgate without the spring bars? It weighs as much as the engine up front.
Bumper.
Front bumper. Well, both front and rear. I never did build a rear bumper for this. I always had plans for it. Never did it.
And that's not the bumper. Big bug.
That's a big bug.
That's not the bumper that was on it.
No, this is not the bumper that was on it. Had a worn winch bumper on it that I picked up somewhere along the way. I was looking in. There's actually some of the brackets from that bumper still on here. They scabbed this together. I mean, it's okay. It obviously worked for them. But this thing is sat for. We figured it sat for about a year without being run. Definitely got neglected.
We're doing that and do the grill.
Yeah, I should probably find or make a grill.
Tires and wheels.
Yes. That is the part that will probably bankrupt the whole operation, because big tires are not cheap. So if there's a tire company out here that'd like to sponsor us and give us a set of tires to try out on the trails, we'd love to try that for you. 38 inch, probably 38, 13, 50, 17. That's kind of what I'm hoping for. Yeah.
The only thing we have on the other list is stereo and AC.
Yep. Need some tunes. Had a nice Kenwood system in it. It was good. I wonder if those back speakers still work. I don't know. We'll have to try them out. I think we'll end up changing all the speakers anyway, make it a little more.
They are kind of big back there.
They are kind of big. Great big warts sticking off the sides on the inside. And you don't want her to have any warts. You want her to be pretty. We're going to get rid of the ugly. All right. So I think that's what we got for a list right now. Pretty good sized list. We're going to add to it, I'm sure. We're going to do some changes along the way. If you've ever built anything, you know how it is. You'll be going along and squirrel. But first and foremost, we're gonna go through that transmission. Transmission, we're gonna build it right. I am not a transmission builder by any means. I know how to take stuff apart, put it back together, and it works. Probably 8.5 times out of 20. No, I have a better success rate than that. But yeah, we're gonna take that transmission apart, figure out what's wrong. I am gonna put some upgraded components in it. I'll go over that when we do build it. I'm thinking we're gonna go ahead and switch to a manual reverse pattern valve body, probably engine braking style. I think that'd work really well off-road. That was originally one of the plans I had when we had it, was to go to that. We'll put some performance parts in there, some, at least stage 1 clutches and stuff like that in it. And, turbo 400, get the 34 roller sprag and all that good stuff. You hot rodders know what I'm talking about. It's all Greek to her. She's like, yeah, those are words all in a sentence that make no sense to anybody but people like me. All right. Well, I think we're pretty happy with that list. Yep. Are you happy with that list? Let us know if you see something we overlooked that you think we should put on that list. We'd love to hear from you. So until then, what do they need to do?
Like and subscribe.
And tell your friends. We want more friends. All right. Bye. Yeah, we need to get the ugly off of there. Sweat from my arm is melting that old paint. Oh. Transmission fluid check. Ain't got no fluid.